Class, Mrs. Gilling back here again to go over your Unit 2 video assignment, all about your project coming up on applying the scientific method. Before we go over those steps, though, let's do the joke of the unit. A client comes for his first therapy session. He has a small cucumber up his nose, a carrot in his left ear, and a banana in his right ear. Can you help me figure out what's wrong with me? He asks the therapist. The therapist replies, You're not eating properly. Get it? Because you don't stick food. All right, let's go into your project. So you have two options that I'm giving you for your project in this unit. Here's option one, the prompt. This project is your chance to imagine being a psychological scientist. Imagine you've made an observation in your everyday life. After arguing with your sister, that never happens, right? You seem to calm down more quickly when sitting in your living room. Your living room is painted blue, and you recall that blue is supposed to be a calming color. Is this true? You want to find out for yourself if people feel calmer after they see the color blue. You want to find the answer to this question. Does the color blue make people feel calmer? So this option is the one that's in your course. If you choose to do it, you're just going to complete all the steps right there in the course. So trying to kind of use the scientific method and figure out, does the color blue make people feel calmer? Here's the steps for this project. The first step is multiple choice questions, and they're worth 10 points each. The first multiple choice question in the course is, in order, what are the 4 steps involved in the scientific method? The second question you'll be asked is, what is systematic replication? So those are super straightforward. The questions will pop right up and you click the answer to them. Next is your short answer responses, and they're worth 20 points each. So your research question is, does the color blue make people feel calmer? Using what you've learned about the scientific method, explain in 2 to 3 sentences what your hypothesis is for your research question and how you could test your hypothesis. The next step, in 2 to 3 sentences, describe how you could ensure your test will have external validity. Now, it'll talk about external validity in your reading, so it's really important that you take what you learn in your reading and you apply it here. So I want to hear you talking about replication when you make your answers to all of these questions. Imagine that you tested 20 high school students, 15 male, 5 female. 12 males and 4 females reported feeling a calming effect after exposure to the color blue. In 2 to 3 sentences, explain what conclusions could be drawn from this information. So again, you're just kind of taking the scenario they gave you and writing your response to it. Then last, imagine that you tested 20 high school students, 15 male, 5 female. 12 males and 4 females reported feeling a calming exposure to the color blue. In 2 to 3 sentences, explain how you could repeat this test in a different way to prove that the design was internally valid and reliable. So the way the system has this set up is it's set up where you'll submit it in 2 separate spots, but you're not actually submitting it twice. So you'll answer, I think it's the first 2 or 3 questions are in one section, and then the rest of them are in a different lesson. There's no submit button when you complete the first part. The first part doesn't have submit. You just answer the questions and then you'll click next and it'll move on. And then in the lessons later on, when you get to the last part, that's where there'll be a submit button pop up. So it's more of saving it. I promise it'll save it. As long as you put your stuff in where it tells you to and click next, it will be there. When it comes time to submit, the submit button will pop up. I always get a lot of questions about that every quarter, so I thought I'd kind of clarify that for you. So do that first section where the questions are, then there won't be any more questions, and then you can move on. Now, there is a place where you can say it's like step 2 and push that button, and it'll have you fill in the answers, but it still won't have a submit button. That submit button won't come until later on because this is a project that you can work on throughout the whole unit. So if you have any confusion there, let me know and I can help you with it. But just remember that it's broken up into 2 different parts, but you don't submit the whole thing until towards the end of the unit. So that's option 1. If you're interested in that, definitely go for it. And again, just a quick reminder, because this confuses people sometimes, this is the one that's in the course. You just follow the steps as they are in the course. Here's the second option. And this one is not in the course, so this is one that you'll have to submit kind of independently if you want. So option number 2, come up with your own psychological research question and hypothesis and figure out a way to test it. Perform the test and include your results in a slideshow presentation. You will complete the steps and record your information in a Google slideshow or PowerPoint presentation. Instead of submitting the project in the course, you can give me the link to your presentation in the comments section instead. You can also email your project to me. So you'll have to click through the project that's in the course, but instead of completing the project, you can just leave a comment that says, hey, I'm doing option number 2. I'm going to email it to you, or you can give me the link. Say, here's the link to the project I completed, and I'll grade you from there. Here's your steps for that one. First of all, you need to send me an email or IM with your proposed research question, hypothesis, and test for approval. So don't just start your project until you talk to me about it. So say this is what I want to do for my project. This is my research question, my hypothesis, and this is how I'm going to test it. And I'll say that sounds awesome, or hey, you may want to tweak that. But make sure to send me an IM and let me know. That's worth 10 points. Your first slide, you're going to explain list your research question and your hypothesis. That's worth 15 points. Your second slide, describe how you will test your hypothesis. Be specific. How many people are involved in your test? The ages, the gender, 15 points. Slide 3. After testing the hypothesis, give me your results. What did you find? Slide number 4. Answer the following questions. First, did your test have external validity? Why or why not? And how could you repeat your test in a different way to prove that the design was internally valid and reliable? So remember, like, do the reading in the course to learn about those topics and figure out what that validity really means. So that's worth 15 points. You'll also be graded on your appearance, so make sure to choose a theme for your slideshow and include at least 3 pictures. Sorry. You also need to double check your grammar and your spelling, and that's worth 15 points. So if you sound of that person that's got interesting ideas, something you want to research on your own, this is your opportunity to study something out. But definitely make sure to let me know. That's probably the biggest part. Let me know what it is so I can improve it, because I don't want you doing something that's going to take years, right? It doesn't have to be that crazy. Just a simple experiment, like, I don't know, instead of does the color blue make you calmer, maybe you want to study does the color red make you angry, and maybe you do something with that. It's totally up to you, though, which option you choose. I'm totally fine if you just want to do the color blue one that's in the course, but if you want to make the slideshow and do the one where you come up with your own ideas, do that. But remember, you don't have to do both. You pick one. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. But other than that, good luck with your project. We'll talk to you guys later.